ペッパークイーン
So I recently watched Grand Army, and I just have to say it's a really good show. It's one of the shows that's probably on its way to becoming like one of those legendary teen dramas. But anyways, as I digress, there was a lot of themes going on in the show. But one of the themes I really picked up on was the punishment of the sexually liberated teen female, or any just sexually active girl, or any teen girl. I don't know if there's a proper name for it, but I see this a lot in teen dramas where the teen girl, who's confident with her body. Maybe she's overtly sexual, maybe she's flirty, or maybe she's actually sexually active, or maybe she's the girl wearing the clothes that show off her figure, or she isn't shy or ashamed of herself. She is who she is, and then something bad happens to her relating to how she expresses her sexuality or how she explores sexuality. And Joey kind of falls into that trope. She is a character that is very comfortable with her body, very flirty, very touchy-feely, even though she actually isn't out here having sex, she actually gets sexually attacked in the show, and it's really sad. But I don't want to dwell on that storyline too much, because I think the show creator, I think her life is actually, the show is based off her life, basically. So I'm not going to trivialize her experiences by going any further, that's why I don't want to touch on it too much. But anyways, after watching Grand Army, I just kept thinking, how many times have I watched TV shows where the girl exploring her sexuality, or is confident, or is flirty, she gets slut-shamed, she gets pregnant, she gets sexually attacked, or she is revenge porn? Like I mentioned this in my Degrassi Manny video. In that Manny video, I argued that the show slut-shamed Manny
with giving her a pregnancy, with giving her an abortion, with shunning her from the school, with her coming out of it with a reputation and having no friends. I felt like because Manny was exploring her sexuality, she changed up her wardrobe as more figure hugging, and because she was sexually active with Craig, the show thought it appropriate to give her all those punishments, the abortion, the slut shaming, and
all that stuff. And I actually compared her storyline with another character on the show around that time who was doing something similar, Caitlin, an adult female who was going after Joey. She wasn't wearing all those figure hugging clothing and stuff like that. She played it more coy, so to speak. So, Caitlin was going after Joey around that same time. Joey was already with someone else, but Caitlin came at it like all romantic more, like sneaky conversations. She probably kissed him once, and the show congratulated her with getting her man, while Manny, was slut-shamed, had an abortion, had a pregnancy, and it's just like, Manny was kind of doing the same thing, but in a different way, and I feel like the show was just kind of condemning her for it. And I don't know, it just kind of makes me think, are shows relaying this message to girls like, don't do this, don't engage in this activity, don't dress like this or else? Or are they trying to warn girls like, hey, if you do this, that, and the third, just make sure to keep an eye out for this, that, and the third, because things could happen to you? Like, is it just telling a story realistically, or is it giving off the message of teen female prohibition of don't wear this, don't feel comfortable like this, stuff like that? But it's just like, no, I know I'm not making much sense here, but I've seen a lot of people comment under my video, in the Manny video, that, oh, this is like a realistic storyline and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't really think that this is realistic, because if anything, in 2020 at least, if Craig did that now, I'm hoping that they would plug into that storyline, him being shamed for leaving Manny hanging with a baby with a pregnancy, for getting an underclassman pregnant. Like, I hope he gets shamed for that. I know Ashley was like, oh, you did it with a grade 9er. Like, I feel like people would be like, oh, so what, you doing it with a little frosh? Like, there would be at least like a punishment for his parents. Like, I would hope that when his parents find out, which they never did in the original storyline. So basically, Craig got off scot-free. Like, Mandy got all these punishments, and Craig, nothing happened to him, and his parents never found out. And I hope that his parents did find out that they would shame him too. But nothing happened to Craig. But you gotta watch that video. Anyways, I don't know what shows are trying to convey right now. I'm leaning to more prohibition of, like, telling girls don't do this, don't do that, or else. I'm leaning towards that kind of attitude, because I see this so often in teen dramas. And also, I just want to point out, there's a little scene in Blackish that kind of sums up how society views, or how at least I viewed the whole situation on, like, sexually liberated teen females and stuff like that. In a perfect world, yes, I'm gonna do whatever you want with your body, whatever, but we don't live in a perfect world, and there are repercussions to these actions. Unjust repercussions, but yeah.
I believe that women should be able to freely express their sexuality, but I know that it gets exploited. None of this would be a problem if there weren't men in the world.
Hey! What is it about men? What is it about men?
Diana's 15 years old. I don't want to dump all of this on her shoulders, but we need to prepare her for the world as it is, not the way we want it to be.
The clip sums it up very well, and I just want to share some examples of like some teen female characters who got screwed over in teen dramas because of how they were dressed or how they choose to express sexuality or because of the sexual decisions. So anyways, we're going to start off with Beverly Hills 90210. We're going to start off with Kelly Taylor, the It Girl. She comes onto the show. The first thing we know about her is her tragic story with Date R. She is at the sleepover and she tells the girls that during her freshman year, she was with this upperclassman, a footballer, and he took advantage of her on this date, I think, maybe it was kind of sort of a date, and she came out from it getting a bad reputation, and she's been trying to deal with that ever since. She's trying to like erase that, trying to reinvent herself from that whole reputation, all while living with the trauma of what happened to her as a freshman. And you know, this is obviously done off screen and stuff, but I just bring this up just to tell you that Kelly's already been through stuff. And in season 2 or season 3, she goes to this Halloween party. She's dressed as this witch, this sexy witch, and some guy tries to R her, and thankfully her friends came to save her. But you know, all throughout the episode, when she's wearing this outfit, her friends are kind of giving her ish for it. Like, they're saying like, "What kind of attention do you want to bring? Like, why are you wearing this?" And it's just like, why does the girl have to be desperate? Maybe she's wearing this just to look good and feel good.
I've just been dumped. It's Halloween, and if I feel like dressing up any way I want, I will. I think I know how to take care of myself by now.
Can I be great? All right.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
She wanted to feel desired. That's it. She didn't want, you know, some guy to take advantage of her. Anyways, that's just another example. And Degrassi, besides Manny, we have Paige Michaelchuk. She is a girl who kind of falls through the similar storyline with Manny, where she's wearing more figure-hugging clothes, and we see her, you know, experiment with her look and, you know, expressing her sexuality, stuff like that. And then we see her in season 2, she gets sexually assaulted by a senior, I think, at a rival high school. And it's just like, really? And we're already pointing out the Manny situation, like, and then that's not the only thing. Like, if you look at the first generation girls who started out in grade 7 with Emma, we see Liberty and Emma. They also get caught up in the same type of narrative where Emma, her first sexual experience being with Jay, you know, their whole sex thing, you know, she gets gonorrhea right off the bat. She gets an STD. With Liberty, her first sexual experience with JT, pregnancy right off the bat. So already, look at these girls. They already got hit with so much ish just from their sexual decisions, or, you know, stuff like that. And it's just like, or just how they just decide to like express themselves in their bodies. And it's just like, I'm tired of this trope. I'm so tired of it. Also, for another example, we have Gossip Girl. You know, Serena is slut shamed all throughout the show. Even the pilot episode, you know, Chuck was trying to sexually assault Serena. Like, what the hell? And Blair even slut shamed Serena.
Doesn't offer degrees and slut.
Jesus, Blair gets slut shamed because she slept with 2 guys, and you know, the school just uses that as an excuse to like be mean to her and slut shame her. We see Jenny get hit with some sexual assault too, because they just hand them out like candy on the show. And in the pilot episode, Jenny was just there too, like she wasn't doing nothing. Jenny was just there. Anything. Oh, and Skins, the US version, we have Taya, who is the lesbian on the show. She hooks up with Tony, and we already know Tony is with Michelle, and Taya gets hit with an STD. Taya and Michelle get hit with STDs, and it's just like, why can't there be a sexually active teen girl or a sexually liberated teen girl, someone who's confident with their body, whatever, this, that, and the third, and nothing happened to them? Like, why can't there just be a show with, I'm pretty sure there's girls out there that have good sexual experiences and nothing, you know, bad happens to them afterwards. Like, seriously? Like, the show that comes close to having experience like that, or me seeing something like that on TV, with teen dramas and teen girls, you know, having good sexual experiences, is the Carrie Diaries, with the exception of Maggie. We all know about Maggie, how she was hooking up with a police officer who was already engaged to be married, and then she gets pregnant. And then he shows up at her school. This grown-ass man shows up at the school trying to literally physically assault Maggie.
That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Okay.
Because of how he took advantage of her. I'm like, make that make sense, please. But I do like the fight scene that happens. But with Mouse, with Carrie, and with Larissa, all of them sexually active characters, them bad happens to them. They have a blissful sexual experience, which is nice to see on with teen dramas and TV. We have a show called Some Girls. It's from the UK. Most of the girls on that show, you know, they be doing it, dipping and doing it, whatever. Nothing bad happens to them. They don't get slut shamed. Nothing bad happens to them. What else? Motherland Salem is a show that came out last year. They embrace female sexuality. They encourage it, you know, during their late teens, like 18, 19. But, you know, all the girls in that show, nothing bad happens to them, you know. It's actually encouraged and glorified them being sexually experimentative, them embracing their sexuality. So that's good to see. If you understand like what I'm saying, or like why I'm so irritated by this, always seeing the same type of narrative in teen dramas, just comment down below. If you think differently, please comment down below. I will say to those people who say that these storylines, the way they drag these teen girls with bad sexual experiences and stuff like that, because it's real, like this does happen, which I say yes, this does happen. Girls do get STDs, girls do get pregnant on accident or on purpose, whatever. Girls do get abortions, you know, so them showing that kind of side of things on TV is not bad. It's just how unproportionate it is. Like, every female character gotta go through this with their sexual experiences, you know what I mean? Like, there's a pattern here. And here's the thing, if we're trying to be all real right now, as real as TV can be, whatever, why can't we also look at their male counterparts and be like, well, you know, guys who make these sexual decisions too, you know, they can also catch, you know, these punishments too. Like, some guys can get STDs, some guys can get shunned for their sexual partner. Maybe she's not popular, guys can shun them for it, or maybe, you know, they're doing it with somebody. Like, there's so many things you can do with the male characters to kind of even the scale. Like, I feel like in all these shows they just kind of harp on the female punishments, and it's just like, make this as balanced as it can be, because that's as real as it can get too, right? Like, and this is TV. At the end of the day, you can make up anything you want. Why can't they just have good experiences? Whatever. Please like, subscribe. I appreciate you watching this. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.